Hello dear viewers, welcome to my first mod review, and let's say this is a good place to start as it takes you on a nostalgia trip back to the days of Oblivion, presents you with some beautiful sights and also throws some undead monsters at you, which is always fun. I am talking about the Ayleid ruins of Arashai, which is a dungeon mod using some modders' resources and several new types of enemies. The author of the mod has made some cool dungeon packs in the past, and the modding experience certainly shows in many ways, like in location design and overall difficulty. Okay, before I go into details, let me warn you about upcoming spoilers, as I will show you vast parts of the dungeon and probably even the final fight, so play the mod first and then come back if you are spoiler sensitive. Right, let's start from the beginning, like where to find this new place. It's right here west of Falkreath, northwest from Cracked Tusk Keep. You cannot miss it as the surrounding area is burned to the ground by some angry dragon. You can start your adventure by reading this book, which is a long but interesting read. The author of the book is an Altmer archaeologist and, of course, racist, because that's what the Altmer are. If you read carefully, you will find some hints about what kinds of enemies you can expect inside the dungeon and how to progress through it in order to get to the boss fight faster. You will also find some typos and errors, but I am quite sure this will be corrected at some point. You will have to go through a short cave-like location before you can get to the Ayleid ruin proper. You will see the assets used in other mods that needed Ayleid architecture, and as usual it invokes a huge hit of Oblivion nostalgia. What makes this dungeon stand out is the size, as it is composed of 7 or maybe even 8 sub-locations, many of which have their own enemy types. Beware of the vampires in southern catacombs, as they go with a rather challenging mini-boss. The dungeon is not linear at all, so the time needed to play it through can vary very much from player to player. If you want to get it done quickly, just look for the cells with Arashai in the name. From the first Arashai location you should try going southeast and find an entrance to the Arashai Thermae, which apparently was a recreation area back in the day. From there, look in the southern rooms for an exit to the wilderness, and this wilderness location is one of the most impressive eye candies in the mod. From here, finding the final boss should be a very easy task. Now, because the dungeon is so alike to the Oblivion ruins and non-linear, you may get lost quite easily. It's particularly due to the meshes and textures being rather uniform in color and features. I am not exactly complaining, as I really enjoyed the atmosphere. It's just worth remembering that the navigation and progress through the ruin will be nothing like your standard Skyrim dungeon crawl. Speaking of standard Skyrim features, it is worth noting how well balanced is the difficulty for this one. I played it with a very endgame character, so it may look like the enemies are underpowered, but the average difficulty is actually akin to the one of Dwemer ruins, especially when you meet another Lich. I think it is a huge plus, seeing how so many dungeon mods throw ridiculously OP enemies at you as if the mod author wanted to make a point. Here, fun and atmosphere are definitely more important than forcibly inflated challenge. However, in some places you will encounter a Lich or two, and they can be as annoying and challenging as the dragon priests. So with no magic resistance you are pretty much doomed here. The final battle may be particularly deadly if you started before reaching level 20. The mod still has several little bugs with object placement and texture flickering, but overall it looks like a very well done, atmospheric, thought through and balanced dungeon. In the category of standalone new dungeon mods, it is one of the most well balanced and atmospheric, and it deserves some points for the non-linear progression. It has its own lore, blended successfully in the lore of the game, and it invokes memories. If only it also had the Oblivion background music and maybe some compatibility with the Bruma, adding, for example, a new exit from this location to Cyrodiil, and maybe some completely unique weapons and or armors to find, then it will be like 10.5 out of 10. For now it's more like 8 and rising. It can give you 5 hours or even more. Some players I've seen reported 10 hours of additional gameplay time, which is rather impressive for a single dungeon, and it is absolutely beautiful, so it's worth visiting just for the sights. I feel like going into more detail would be too much on the spoiler side. Go check the mod yourself, there's a link down there. It is Legendary Edition only at the moment, which is unfortunate, but some users reported converting it to Special Edition with no problems whatsoever, so I will also link you the appropriate guides. Check it out and let me know what you think. Also, let me know if there is some mod you would like me to check and maybe tell you what I think, and maybe, we can compare our opinions and it will be marvelous. For now, stay strong, play a lot of Skyrim, but not more than your mama tells ya, and come back for more Skyrim content, especially builds. Builds are fun. Okay, see you around. Bye bye.